You're listening to Crystal and Emily on Love Your Shelf, the best librarian podcast in the extensive and highly competitive field of librarian podcasts.
Hello there.
Hello. It's time to start our new episode.
Yeah, man.
And I have had, I don't know. I feel like it's been a weird week for viewing and reading.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we're just going to keep it weird from last time, right?
Yeah. I mean, what's changed?
Exactly. We're weird. So if you're just now catching on to this, I'm sorry.
If you don't like weird, you won't like this.
No. So I started reading a book that I then realized was part of a series, and I was reading it digitally, so I didn't really notice how long it was going to be.
Oh, yep.
And it was nearly 800 pages, I think. If you like regular,
Yes.
Yeah. And that's a lot of commitment. But I had started it and I was very intrigued. It was good.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm in it, and there's 2 more after this one.
Are they just as long?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So the first book is The Passage by Justin Cronin.
Mm-hmm.
And the first line of it kind of tells you the scope of what you're dealing with.
Yes, love it.
And so I don't even know how to put it. I'll read you the line, and then we'll talk about it. So the first line is, before she became the girl from nowhere, the one who walked in, the first and last and only, who lived 1,000 years, she was just a little girl from Iowa named Amy.
Oh.
So shout out to
I was about to say, what an introduction for Amy.
And it is one of the more unique books that I've read in terms of tone. And I mean, there's a reason why it's as long as it is, because it's dealing with a very long period of time. And it's sort of, you can even tell in that first sentence that it's referencing like ancient religious texts and that kind of thing. But then, it's the name Amy, which is obviously
right. I know. It
like
caught
a little
me off
girl.
guard.
Yeah. And so I was, intrigued right from the start. And essentially, the story is about this. It starts out, these scientists have been joined by like a military entourage or whatever in Central America, and they're searching for this ingredient for this medicine or something that they're going to make. And so you don't really know much about it, because it's like the information is the emails from this one scientist to another. And so it kind of, they're assuming that they, already know. So they're not giving you all the details, right?
Right.
They're assuming that the person that they're writing already has all the backstory. So you're only kind of getting a fraction of it.
Okay.
And so you're piecing it together. And it's like, being a historian, where you're going back and getting like all of the little details from these.
Cool.
Yeah. And so,
although I will say, sometimes with stuff like that, I forget whether it's something I've already read before or if it's something I don't know at all yet. So I'll be like, wait, am I supposed to know this, or am I going to figure this out? Obviously you keep reading and it's answered eventually, but
right. Exactly. It's like, how did I, this is just the beginning of the book. How did I already miss that so much? Yeah.
Right.
But, and thankfully that kind of like epistolary, like back and forth letters, doesn't last for very long, because that
cool. Oh, I see.
Can be exhausting.
Yeah.
It's just like the very first part of the book.
Got it. Okay.
It's definitely sci-fi. So they do find this substance that they're looking for, but they're all attacked, and anyway, stuff happens.
Ooh, I mean, if that's not intriguing, I don't know what is.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Outbreak, like Michael
I
Crichton type,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
But then it goes to the story of Amy and her backstory
Mm-hmm.
as a little like 6-year-old girl,
Uh-huh.
and then it goes to like it jumps, and the tone jumps too when it changes, well, the stories that they're telling. And so
Mm-hmm.
some of it's like, you know, post this big apocalyptic event, or the majority of it is post this
Uh-huh.
big apocalyptic event, but um if it's kind of the stories of these different people who don't intersect with each other for a long time,
Okay.
but then
Ooh,
they
but they
do.
do.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so anyway, it was reminding me of lots of other things, like The Stand and Station
Mm-hmm.
11,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um
Yeah.
and then like that historical aspect of it is like Handmaid's Tale, like here's
Yeah.
this history of something that happened long time ago.
Oh my gosh. I am like really, I think I want to read this.
It is a commitment, let me tell you.
That's why I kind of said that slowly.
But it was definitely a page turner. Like I read
Yeah.
it, and even though I think it was 4 days,
Oh, good
which,
job.
I mean, for me, I usually, when I get into something, I can finish a book in a day. So that tells you
Yeah.
how long it is that it was.
Right, right. If it took you 4. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But definitely worth it. And I've started the second one now. So
Cool.
yeah. The next two are called The 12 and The City of Mirrors.
Cool.
Yeah. So looking forward to it.
Nice.
And the epigraph of the book comes from,
Mhm.
there's lots of great quotes at the beginning of the chapters. But the very first one is Catherine Ann Porter from Pale Horse, Pale Rider.
Mhm.
And I wanted to read that too, because it also gives you a really vivid picture, I think, of where the story's going.
Cool.
So it reads: The road to death is a long march beset with all evils, and the heart fails little by little at each new terror. The bones rebel at each step. The mind sets up its own bitter resistance, and to
Mhm.
what end? The barriers sink one by one, and no covering of the eyes shuts out the landscape of disaster, nor the sight of crimes committed there. Oh, yeah,
Ooh.
exactly.
Yep.
So,
I think we're there with you.
yeah. So definitely, in fact, I read this book because it was a recommendation from, maybe it was like, it was a video about read-alikes for pandemics or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Or,
Uh-huh.
and at first I was like, no, thank you.
Why would I want to read that?
But then the similarities, I think, and then like I think that she mentions a couple of books that I really liked, and so I thought, oh, okay, so that's the direction that we're going.
Right.
So I picked it up, but I'm glad I did. But
Cool.
then another one from that same recommendation
Hmm.
is the next book that I read, which is Wanderers
Hmm.
by Chuck Wendig.
Okay.
And he's written a bunch. This is his only standalone novel. He has some like sci-fi series and graphic
Oh,
novels
uh-huh.
and stuff like that. Um, and so I knew I had seen his name, but I had never picked anything of his up.
Yeah.
And has some similarities, and it's really intriguing setup, and in the fact that, or in the light of how it's taking something that is kind of a common, I don't know, approach, but then giving
Hmm.
it a twist.
Hmm.
And so these characters, and I think it's in Pennsylvania is where it's set.
Uh-huh.
And so this the main setting is this family with two teen daughters. One's about to be a senior and one's 15. And so it's from the perspective of the older daughter, and she's talking about like getting up and doing chores on the farm, and talks about how her relationship with her sister, and that she's kind of looking for her,
Yeah.
and she sees her, and
Uh-huh.
she's goes outside, and she's just walking, and the sister tries to go get her, like, hey, you need to come do your chores.
Uh-huh.
And the younger sister just keeps walking and doesn't pay any attention to her. And
Uh-huh.
so the older sister runs over to her, and she's just staring blankly,
Like
and
blank faced.
not responding, and won't stop walking.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And
I told
so
you how, to me, one of the creepiest things you can do is the whole, like, somebody enters a room and the other person is just turned in the opposite direction and
it
won't,
won't.
you call their name, you say their name, they don't respond. That idea is so creepy to me.
Yes.
And my sister and I were 3 years apart,
Mm-hmm.
18, 15.
Yes.
You and your
Exactly.
sister are similar in
About that.
age. Yeah,
Yeah.
age difference. And you grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
So,
It
yeah.
was definitely like, oh wow, okay.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah. So the older sister tries to grab her and stop her from walking, and she flips out,
Oh my gosh.
and like to the point that her skin gets all red, and like her nose starts bleeding and stuff. And
Oh.
so she lets her go, and then she just like settles back down and keeps walking. And so the older sister goes and gets the dad, and he tries to do the same thing, and she says, but you can't try to stop her because it hurts her, or whatever it's doing to her. And
How crazy. I have to say, though, my sister's a little bit dramatic. I probably would just be like, you guys, Callie's in a mood.
she's walking, she'll come back sometime eventually.
She's freaking out when I try to stop her. Let her do her thing.
And so
anyway, no.
then, like, the neighbor down the road, this like science teacher,
Uh-huh.
joins her, just comes walking out, and they start walking in the same direction together.
I am so in on this also.
Yeah. And so that carries on. And then it cuts to the other like perspective of the book, is this scientist who worked for the CDC, and he finds out about it, and they're calling it an outbreak, and so he's
just like
gonna
what,
investigate it.
lots of people are just walking like this.
They just start, they gain numbers, and they're
Yeah.
like,
I have to
just
say,
join them.
Great way to get in shape.
Turn into a zombie and
just walk forever.
Yeah. And so
anyway,
I'll leave it at that. And anyway, it turns out that if you are successful at restraining them, it's very disastrous.
Oh
so,
no, do they explode? That's what I'm picturing.
I mean, yeah.
Don't say anything.
Okay, yeah. So it is the tone is so different from the other book that I read, that I was and I read it like right immediately after the other one. And so it was a little bit off-putting. It's definitely more like pop culture-y, and the tone is a little more pulpy. Like,
okay.
I don't know, more, it definitely, I could see that this guy writes these other like sci-fi series kind of books,
Okay.
It didn't have this like lofty kind of scope that the other one did.
Okay.
But still intriguing. Like, you want to know what's going on.
Do you think you would have felt differently had you not read them back to back?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, they're just very different, but both good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're off to a good start.
I think so. I was enjoying myself.
Nice.
And then I couldn't go more different in a different direction. The
romance.
No, but sort of. There's this nonfiction book called The Day the World Came to Town. We've talked about it.
Yes.
And so you were telling me about someone else recommending it, I think.
Yes, and why? Who was it? Ugh, my memory, you guys.
I know.
My memory. Because, you said that, and I was like, wait a minute. I know this.
Anyways, when we had discussed it, I
Mhm.
think, as maybe potentially doing a program on it or something in the future.
Mhm.
So I picked it up so I could read it. And it's basically, the subtitle is 9/11 in Gander, Newfoundland.
Mhm.
It's by Jim DeFeed. And
Mhm.
it's about this small town in Newfoundland,
Mhm.
in which a whole bunch of planes that were, grounded on 9/11
Yes. I'm
landed
immediately
there.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Keep going. Mhm.
And so it's this, like, I want to say it doubled their population or something like
Oh,
that,
wow.
overnight. And then they all sort of, pitched in to give these people, they didn't have places to stay for them. And so the town had to really pitch in to care for these people who couldn't get back home until,
Yeah.
you know, flights were allowed out again.
Yeah, like, how long was that? Was it, like, weeks? Was it
It
days?
was days, but I don't recall exactly.
Okay, okay.
But anyway, so, and it's very touching. Obviously, there's all of these different kinds of connections, and the way
Right,
that people helped each other out, and
right.
then and it's got all of the, like, the stories behind the story, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, also very good, but
Wow, yeah.
yeah.
And, in fact, and nobody quote me on this, but when I heard about this book, I think someone said that a couple from this area was
Yes.
involved, was, like, on one of those planes, right?
It was, yes, there's a
That's correct?
couple from Alto
Okay.
who had gone to, adopt a baby,
Yes.
and they were coming
Which,
back
wow.
on one of those flights, yeah.
Wow.
So, and this is coming up on the, 20th
20th
anniversary.
anniversary. Yeah.
So I have a feeling that we'll be talking about this book and other things like about that
Yeah.
more in the
Yeah.
coming months, but,
I
definitely
definitely,
worth reading.
yeah.
And, I saw that there were already some holds on it um,
Oh, cool.
in our collection. So
Cool.
hopefully everybody can get their hands on it
I was gonna say,
before.
might have to order an extra copy.
I know. With my resounding recommendation,
That's
making
right.
people want to run out
That's
and read
right. Banging on the doors of the library.
it all the time, all day long. And so, yeah, so definitely that's, highly recommended. And then I'll shift it gears into a podcast. I think I've talked
Mhm.
about the podcast before, but I listened to a specific episode of I Saw What You Did,
Oh, yeah.
and, it was on Headbangers Ball, and
Is
which which is a thing on, MTV years ago.
okay. I was about to say I'm unfamiliar.
Yeah, that's before your time, but it was, um, one of the big, like, it wasn't really a show, but it was like like Headbangers Ball. I guess you could consider it a show,
Uh-huh.
on MTV, and it was like they played, obviously
Head banging
head
music.
banging music, and then they were talking about the film, The Rise and Fall of Western Civilization, and there's multiple parts to that, I guess,
Uh-huh.
but one of them is about like the heavy metal and punk scene,
Uh-huh.
and so anyway, it was very. I liked their take on it, and I liked their analysis of it. So they kind of are doing something kind of similar to what we do, where
Yeah.
they watch something and then just, but they go into
Yeah.
much greater detail about it.
Yes, yes. I really like their personalities a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, they're just different enough, and obviously smart gals, and I
Yeah.
need to get back on it. I need to get back into that podcast.
Lately I've been like cherry picking all these podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't just tune in. I'll go back and see, like, okay, is this something
Yeah, what am I
I
interested
want to
in?
get
I don't
into?
I mean, as much as I would like to, listen in order as they come, it takes me 6 minutes to get to work. So I don't
Oh, yeah.
have Yeah, so I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm probably talked about this before, but I'm kind of the same way, where I listen to podcasts when I'm doing something else. So I do
Yeah.
it when I'm like cooking
Yeah.
or something like that. And so it is kind of restricted to whenever I'm having a chance to do something like that.
Yes,
You know?
exactly. Well, and I've been in a big audiobook phase right now, so I've been listening to
Mm,
those.
yeah. But definitely, I would recommend. It's a great
Yeah,
one.
yeah, cool.
And then I'm going to reveal an obsession that I have. It's not a weird one, so don't worry. I am obsessed with really good title sequences for TV shows.
Oh my gosh.
And so there are some that are just like, I mean, amazing. And that, like, it doesn't even matter what the show, you don't even need to watch the show.
Yeah. Do you mean like full like intros?
Yeah.
Or
Like
okay, yes, yes.
so one of my favorites is 6 Feet Under.
Oh, I've
And
not seen enough of it to think. I can't remember what it is.
it's just like these little snippets of things, but it's beautifully shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it gives you all the things that you need to know about the show. And
Cool.
Dexter has a really great opening
Okay.
sequence too,
Okay. Noted.
where it's like someone is preparing breakfast, so it's like a normal, like everyday thing, but then there's
Mm-hmm.
something sinister about it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's
Like
cool too.
there's
Yeah.
like hot sauce splattered that looks like, you
Like
know,
blood.
blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um
Oh, that's
anyway,
cool.
so I want to like make this into a new thing because I want to know about more excellent
I
title
am
sequences.
super on board with this.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So I will challenge you to tell me some of the ones that you like, maybe
Okay.
next time.
Okay.
Or, you know, coming
I'll
up.
be thinking about them. Yeah. The one
Because
that immediately comes to mind, and it might be obvious, and honestly, I've seen it so many times, I feel like I don't appreciate it anymore. But I love the intro to The Simpsons. I think it's great.
yeah.
It has lots of fun details in it, and that's what I really like.
Yeah, there's always something different that
Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll be thinking about that.
Yeah. No, that's a great one. And like the counterpoint to the ones that I mentioned,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
which are really super dark and scary.
Yeah, no, but those are great. Yeah. And it makes me want to watch both of those shows. Those are two that I have not gone into yet.
6 Feet Under is probably one of my all-time favorite shows
Yeah,
ever. And Dexter, I got into for a while, and then I just never watched, I think, probably the final season of it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't remember what happened, but I just got off of that train and then just never got back on.
Never came back. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm prone to that as well.
And 6 Feet Under had some problematic things at the end, but overall,
Great.
Just
great television.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I spent my viewing time, my leisure time over the weekend playing a game, which
Yes, you did.
I'm not always doing, but which I miss. I used to be more of a gamer than I am now. And so my nephew has an Oculus, which is a virtual reality headset. And
so I'm sighing because it's so cool over here, just so everyone really knows. I'm not like disgusted or bored. I'm like jealous.
Yes. I am going to bring it and I'm going to let you try it out because it's awesome.
Yeah.
But we had played the Room, which is a super cool, and there's also, you can get The Room as an app on your phone. So
neat.
So, or like on your tablet or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we had played like as a family The Room, even though it's not really like a family game, like it's for an individual to play, but we always played it together because it's so much fun. And it's basically you start off and you're in a room and there are puzzles, and so you have to solve things to get to the next room or to get out of the room. Or it's kind of like an escape game kind of thing, but it's really high quality, beautiful graphics and all that kind of stuff. And so they made a version of it for the Oculus. So you're actually, you know, physically, it feels like inside
Mhm.
those spaces, and so you can
Mhm.
like turn around and look behind you and down and all, up and around.
Yeah.
And it is, the whole experience is just, I don't know, it's mind blowing. And in fact, we were talking about it
Yes.
last night that like soon, right now, the headset is rather large and unwieldy, and you
Mhm.
can't wear it for like a real extended period of time. You
Yeah.
know, it's just going to be exhausting.
Yes,
But,
yes.
and, you know, give you a headache or whatever. But once they make those things lightweight, man, I don't know. I don't,
Yeah, is
I,
that just how we'll all live? You know,
it could
we'll all
be.
just have avatars like Ready Player One style.
Yeah, it really, you know, because I've had several different versions of little VR headsets that
Yeah.
you can put your phone in and, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And those were diverting, but this thing is serious business.
It's an
The Oculus.
experience, it sounds
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
And I think I told you that in one, I know I told you, in one,
Yes.
you're, I jumped into the game because when we play it, uh, you have it where it's screencast to a TV or your computer or whatever, so that
Yeah.
the other people can see what you're
What
seeing, what
you're
you're doing.
right.
And I mean, it's not the same, obviously, but at least you can kind
They
of
can,
like
yeah, they can like watch you
give you
kill bad
hints and
guys
stuff.
or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And so the good thing about the room is if you're not into like shoot 'em up stuff, there's no other people in it. It manages to be real creepy though,
Yeah.
because it always feels like somebody's just right around the corner, you know, like.
Right.
And
Oh.
and anyway, especially in some parts of it, you know, it's like you're kind of tracking a person, you're trying to hunt down a person, but
Oh my gosh.
so they're not there, but it feels like somebody's
Yeah.
watching you. And anyway,
I am gonna look like such a fool. I'm already a pretty like I'll say the word dramatic again. It runs in the family. Dramatic person. I have big reactions to things. And
well,
anyone who's
and
listened to this hears me gasping all the time. So yeah, I feel like
which
I
is
am just
gratifying. When you're telling a story, you want somebody to gasp and
yeah,
be
yeah.
amazed. Yeah.
That's why I'm here, guys.
I'm paying you to do this.
Yeah. Easiest job in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just feel like I'm gonna look like such a
It
crazy
is
person.
funny. I mean, it is funny just if you're just watching the person, you know,
Right, right.
then yeah, you look like a fool. But
Yeah.
so I jumped into this game, and in one part of it, you can go like inside of this wall hanging like a clock, like a machine or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and you like shrink down and go inside it.
Ooh.
And then inside it, I looked down, looking around like my, you know, surroundings, and I was just like standing on a small disc kind of thing that
Uh-huh.
was just floating
No.
in the air.
No.
And so I looked down and saw that, and I almost fell over in real life. And because I have really bad vertigo and very I cannot deal with
Super,
heights.
yeah, super afraid of heights.
Super afraid of it. Not
I feel
afraid.
like I
Like
would
I'm
have just like
physically.
I think I would have just like crouched down into a ball. Like
That's what I started to do, and
and just start like crawling. I don't know.
well, so you know, I'm obviously could just take the thing off my head. It's not like
Right.
I wasn't
You're
trapped
like,
in there or
no,
anything.
I'm committing. I'm committing.
But I was like, okay, that's weird that I had that reaction. That doesn't
Yeah.
make any logical sense. So I was like, okay, I'm going to keep trying to. I'm going to try to do this.
Yeah.
And so I looked up and like started to like, you know, barely look down. I was like, no,
Yeah.
no, I can't do it. I can't
Nope.
do it. And my family's like, are you serious? What's wrong with you?
Because
And I
no,
said, I am having a physical reaction to this. I cannot.
no, brains are crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it's
So I
processing. Your
knew.
brain is processing as if you were there.
Yes.
So out of your
And
control.
yeah. And so, I mean, I can tell you how realistic it is that it is.
Yeah.
I had to get somebody else to play that part of the game because I could
Yeah.
not
Like
do
that
it.
story was strangely what like made me want to play it so badly. Even though like I am also pretty afraid of heights. And but I was telling you earlier that I just kind of want to experience it. I just want to
Yeah.
get scared for a second, I guess. Or see how I react. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just oh, that's
It's
crazy.
it's very strange. And I am also like I don't know that I would ever put one of those things on when I'm by myself because
Oh,
it is
no,
really
yeah.
immersive. And so
Yeah.
I don't even like my nephew has noise canceling headphones.
Oh my
And so he
gosh.
can never hear what's going on around him. And
Right.
I can't be like I'm sure that that's great. Like you don't have to
No,
listen to the background noise or whatever.
but
I
also you
cannot
can't
handle that.
hear a burglar break into your home.
Exactly. I'm not going to
Things like
go
that.
like do this spooky game where,
Yeah.
there's whatever creeping around
Yeah.
and then not be able to hear what's going on in my
Yeah.
physical space. So, no.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I'm someone who like I have a hard time coming down from adrenaline.
Mm.
So, yeah, again, even if I'm just in my living room, I felt like I was just hundreds of feet in the air. So
Yeah.
now I have to treat myself as if I'm calming down from that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you
So,
need
of
something to
course,
kind of keep you outside of it. Yeah,
yeah. So we beat the game, we won it.
love
And
it.
then the next one we like went and reviewed all these other games like what else are we going to get?
Hmm.
And we got The Walking Dead.
Yes,
Saints and Sinners is what it's called.
so fun.
And let me tell you, it's zombies coming after you.
Yeah,
So, and
not for
you're
the
defending
faint of
yourself.
heart. Yeah.
No. If you are familiar with the show, then you know what you're getting into, obviously.
Yes, yes.
But it is that in the first person.
Oh,
So,
which again, weirdly, I'm up for. I told you, I'm
yeah.
pretty squeamish, but with The Walking Dead, for some reason, I don't know, zombies, I'm able to just kind of turn that off and be okay with it. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but
But it is, and again, it's like it's very beautifully rendered, and it takes place. It's set in New Orleans, and so you're like in a little skiff going through like the city has been flooded partially, and so
wow.
in this version of events, and you're going through the cemeteries with all the mausoleums, and then into these abandoned houses that have all these rooms, and it's
Oh
just
my goodness.
there's a lot.
Yes.
And anyway, so it's great. And the only thing that is a little well about the room, there was a disconcerting feature that
Uh-huh.
you have to like set a particular space. So with the Oculus, you like have to have like enough room around you,
Right.
and you have to have an empty area. And
Right.
then if you start to get outside of it, it shuts the game down like it,
Oh, just
so that you don't wander into a window
yeah.
or
You
something,
don't break your legs. Yeah.
Yeah. And so in the room, you also have hand controllers as well as the headset.
Uh-huh.
And so you can like basically point where you want to be and then you're there. So there's
Yeah.
like a little bit of
Yeah.
a
You
like you
don't
feel
have
like
to
you're
actually walk there,
right.
obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
But that takes a lot of getting used to. Like, can you imagine like you point at the door and then now the door's in your face? Like
I was gonna
that's
say a girl could get used to that.
it's the opposite of the walking disease, right?
Right.
You never have to walk again.
Exactly.
And so that is different. But in the Walking Dead version, it's more like you can you see that you're walking, but you're
Yeah,
standing
like
still.
it's okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You don't have to physically move your feet, but you can like directionally point where you're going and stuff.
Yeah. I keep imagining like us in like 15 years thinking back on this conversation and being like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
we were so young.
Exactly.
Technology
They
has
thought
come
that
so
was
far.
so cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I mean, 15 years ago, what were we contending with? Like
Yeah.
PlayStation, I guess. I don't
What
know.
was 15 years ago? Was that like
I mean, the
God, I was in high
early.
school. Okay. Ugh. Let's not remember that. But
Well, you have the
yeah, I
Xbox
mean,
and the
iPhones
PlayStation.
hadn't even come out. And
No.
I'm just thinking like Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 15 years from now, who knows what.
Who knows?
But if you have a chance to get your hands on one of these, I highly recommend it. It is fun. And it's fun for like, it's not just fun for the person who's doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Because you can see what they're doing and watch them look like an idiot.
Yeah. Help them play. And
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely.
So much fun.
So yes, we'll leave it at that. And you can report back next time after I let you try it and
I
let
told
everybody
you
know.
that's what I want for my birthday is to just try it.
Yeah. Well, we'll make it happen.
I can't wait. Yeah, I'll definitely give a full report, you guys.
And I can't wait. Just on another note, before we end, I cannot wait. I'm in this room with a giant painting of anglerfish. You know, one of
Yeah, you
those
are.
crazy
With the
and
glowy light in front of them.
yes, which is one of the creepiest things in
Oh,
the
for
universe.
sure.
These gnarly pointy teeth,
so unsettling.
and then this thing that attracts other little hapless fish into its So it's like overkill. Like, do you need that when you have these razor sharp teeth? Do you really have to have all the things like that?
Every terrifying. I mean, it's basically like they look like, you know, when you're telling a scary story, you put the flashlight under your face. Like,
yeah,
that's the effect.
But I'm looking at this because we're getting ready to do an escape room. It's going to be sunken treasure and it's going to be under the sea. So
yeah,
I'm very excited about this.
I am too. I think this one's going to be really cool.
Yeah. It's going to be cool just to be in it, but then you're going to get to do an escape room.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Man,
and
you
find
guys
treasure.
are so lucky.
Yeah. Gosh, if only I could be as lucky as all of you patrons are. No, we get to have a lot of fun at work, so
yeah,
it's fun to be creative like that.
Absolutely.
Well, we will wrap up and check in with everybody again next week.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
All right.
Bye. Everyone.